Okay, good morning, everybody. I hope you guys are all doing well. Today, we're going to go over the Algebra 1 review assignment, Section 1. So, I want to discuss with you in this particular section, Section 1, order of operations. So, some of you may remember this, and that's great if you do. If you don't, that's okay too. I'm not going to assume that you do, and we're going to go through this as if you really haven't done too much of this before. So, let's get started. So the order of operations in mathematics is a set of rules to follow to determine which operation to do first when there are different operations within a single problem. The order to perform combined operations is called the PEMDAS rule. Now, the word PEMDAS is an acronym, and the acronym stands for parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. And so I'm also going to put a bracket around multiplication, division, and addition and subtraction. The reason for the bracket, well, let me back up. So the reason why PEMDAS is shown vertically is you start at the top and you work your way down. So you start with parentheses, then you do exponents, then you do multiplication, then you do division, and then addition, then subtraction. Now there is kind of a little sidebar exception, and that exception, you'll see there's brackets around multiplication and division. Now, what the brackets mean is in your expression, you perform multiplication or division. Whichever's first is dependent on whichever comes first in the expression left to right. And it's the same for addition and subtraction. So multiplication, division, either one can come first before the other, depending on which one shows up first within the expression. So if that hopefully made sense, we're going to take a look at this first example, and I'll show you what I mean by this. So we have 4 divided by 2 plus 5 times the quantity 10 minus 6. So you can see I put a highlighted dot at every operation. Note that between the 5 and the parentheses, there is not an addition or subtraction or any sign there. So if there's no sign, it's understood to be multiplication. So we need to look at all this and decide what do we need to do first. So PEMDAS says P, parentheses, and we do have a set of parentheses there. So the parentheses I see are right there. So that tells us that we need to do 10 minus 6 first. So we are going to leave it as 4 divided by 2 plus 5, and then 10 minus 6 turns into 4. All right, so we only changed one thing, which is one thing that I would highly recommend. Don't get ahead of yourself and do too many operations in one step. That will cause students to mess up and then not get the correct answer whenever they're trying to simplify these expressions. So best bet, just do one operation at a time. So now that we've done what's within the parentheses, we're going to look at our new expression, and we're going to start all over with PEMDAS again. So parentheses, exponents, and multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, same thing. So we're going to go through, we have a division, we have an addition, and we have multiplication. So out of division, addition, and multiplication, if you look down through the PEMDAS list, you would say, well, multiplication is first, so let's do that. Well, remember about the brackets around this PEMDAS right here. Remember the brackets right here. So you can see these brackets, and what those brackets mean is you complete multiplication or division, whichever comes first, left to right. So looking through here, we actually have division first. We have 4 divided by 2. So therefore, we need to complete 4 divided by 2 first. So when we do 4 divided by 2, we get 2, and then we leave it as plus 5, and then times 4. Now, it's pretty easy from here on out. We have addition and we have multiplication. Multiplication would come first with PEMDAS. So we would have 2, whoops, didn't want to do that, sorry. We would have 2 plus 20, and then that's only the last thing to do. 2 plus 20 is 22. And there's our final answer for that expression. Okay, let's look at the next one. Next one's a little trickier. And it's trickier because there's some more operations in here than the last one. So just like we did in the first one, let's look it over and take stock of all of the operations that we have first. So you can see we have a multiplication right there, followed by a set of brackets, which we'll talk about in a second. We have a subtraction, then with a parentheses, we have addition, we have an exponent. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. The first thing to understand is brackets are part of the parenthesis family. They really aren't any different as far as how they work. Really, they just use brackets instead of using another set of parentheses. So it's easier for you to see where the brackets start and end. That's pretty much it with those. They're treated just like parentheses. So looking through our expression and following PEMDAS, P stands for parentheses. So PEMDAS, we're going to look inside the outer set, which in this case are brackets. We're going to look at all this. And then once we go inside, we have to re-evaluate PEMDAS again and look at all the operations inside. So we have subtraction, we have addition, we also have a set of parentheses, and we have an exponent. So according to PEMDAS, once again, we need to look inside the parentheses. So we need to look at just that, and that's going to be the first operation that we complete. So everything else is left the same. We do 2 plus 3, which becomes 5, and then squared, and then we put our parentheses back. And there you go. All right, so first operation complete. Once again, we do PEMDAS again, starting completely over. So parentheses, we're going to look inside the set of parentheses, or in this case, brackets, and then we're going to look at what operations we have. And we have two. We have subtraction, and we have an exponent. Clearly, the exponent's next, parentheses, and then exponents in PEMDAS. So we are going to square 5. Please keep in mind when you square a number, it does not mean 5 times 2. It means 5 times itself twice. So 5 times 5 is 25. We're going to leave it like that. All right, we're getting there. Now, the next thing, once again, we're going to reevaluate, go through PEMDAS in our head. P stands for parentheses. There's a set of brackets, so we're still looking inside those brackets until they go away. In this case, we do 32 minus 25, which is 7. And the only last thing now to do is just to do 6 times 7, which is 42. And there's your final answer. All right, guys, I hope you found this helpful, and I will see you guys tomorrow on our live session where I will answer any questions that you have about problems from this section. And have a good day.